Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, sorry, a red squirrel just ran out in front of me. Yeah, in this week's video I thought I'd come up and do a wee bit of woodland photography. I haven't really done woodland photography for a while, and I was really just looking to try and create some nice relaxing images. So where better than the Loch Ard Forest. Let's see what we can find. Let's go. So, not really looking for anything in particular. I just wanted to get a couple of woodland shots. Trusty mic. I've just been recording some audio, so you'll probably hear a lot of bird song in this video again. And because it was very quiet while I was recording it, I've had two squirrels run no more than 5 feet in front of me. Never noticed me. There's something magical about sitting in the forest and the slight drizzle. It's beautiful. Not taking a single photograph yet. Okay. I like the way that this tree here has been backlit, and then in the distance we have those backlit leaves, the kind of golden yellow colour. It's going to be quite a high contrasty image, but I do love the way the light is just picking out these water droplets on those leaves there. And then if I position the camera like that so that the sun is behind the tree trunk, then I think that's a nice shot. Almost certainly a 16:9 or even a 2:1. I'm going to get the camera set up, and this might be the first shot of the morning. The light is just disappearing behind the cloud just now, so it's not quite as harsh, so that might actually help. But yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it? Right, we have some direct light back, so I'm quickly taking the shot just now. I'm trying to retain some of the detail in the really bright patch, whilst also trying to catch the little water droplets that are hanging off these leaves here. It's proving to be a bit of a challenge, but that's a nice challenge though. This is going to be, I'm kind of aiming down a little bit because I want to try and avoid shooting directly into the sun. So yeah, the rain's on. So looks like instead of nice soft light, I'm looking for raindrops now. But yeah, it's still beautiful. Okay, I've come a little closer to these two trees now, and I'm basically shooting pretty much from here across. I want to include this tree, but I'm finding it difficult to get some separation between that tree and the darker background, so I might have to move around a little bit. But as before, what I was really interested in was the backlit leaves. So I'm trying to make the most of them in this beautiful old drooping branch here. So I'm just looking around to see if I can find an angle where I can get a bit of separation there, include this branch and those leaves, all the while hoping that the sun breaks through the cloud cover again. Okay, I've turned my attention to this tree here, but not the entire tree. What I'm interested in, let me just zoom in here. What I'm interested in is these beautiful brown leaves, the trunk of the tree, and then the contrast between the brown leaves here and the greener leaves behind. Although, saying that, I do actually really like those moss-covered boulders as well. So I'm just trying to find a composition which includes all of that. My main problem is the background is quite bright, foreground is very dark. So what's happening is I'm having to try and exclude most of the sky, and that's allowing me to expose for the rocks and the leaves. That's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, I've shifted my attention back to this tree, and in particular the point where that branch connects to the main trunk of the tree and all these beautiful yellowy brown leaves. Unfortunately, because of the angle that I have to include a little bit of the sky, and that's burning out. So I'll probably be cropping that anyway, because I'm still looking for a 16:9 image. But I'll show you the back of the camera. That's the sort of composition that I'm going for. Really just to emphasise the texture on the tree bark, and also the lovely colour contrast between the yellows and the browns and the green beyond. I've got another little burst of light. Basically, what I've done here is I've got the camera a little lower. I'm using this boulder here as a foreground interest. Oh, I'm going to lose light again. But anyway, this boulder is foreground interest. These little moss-covered boulders in the foreground, the trunk of the tree leading up to those branches, and just for a split second there we had some nice side lighting on it, which was allowing the the branch, the trunk to stand out from the darker background. That lasted all of about 30 seconds and now the rain's back on. Right, change of emphasis, change of subject. I'm focusing on these water droplets at the end of the leaves and throwing the background into kind of bokeh effect by opening the lens right up to its maximum aperture, which for this one is I think f4, and that's obviously giving us a very narrow depth of field, and by focusing on these water droplets I'm isolating them from the darker background, and yeah, it looks okay in the back of the camera. I did try shooting originally at still at f16, but the background was still in focus and that was rendering it quite distracting, but this looks a little bit better. Yeah, I kind of like this shot here, mainly because it allows us to throw the background, this darker background, completely out of focus, but because we're no longer shooting into the light, the water droplets aren't as bright as they were, so they're a bit harder to catch out. Looks like we're going to get some direct sunlight for a second. That's going to help with the water droplets. As you can see, it's just catching some of the drops. Yeah, that's nice. We have some direct light again, for a split second anyway. Right, I'm going to go down and shoot those trees that I liked earlier. Right, I've come down to these trees, but as is often the way with woodland photography, it's kind of difficult to find any one of them that can be isolated enough to make it obvious what the subject of the photograph is. I'm not quite sure. There's a shot there. I'm not really sure that worked. I've taken the shot anyway. If it's any good, I'll pop it on the screen, but I get the feeling it might need quite a lot of work in terms of dodging burning and colour contrast and stuff like that to see the wood for the trees. But I don't think we're going to get an awful lot more direct light, so kind of limited in what we can achieve here. It's a shame. They look like they might have potential. I should probably have shot those before I wasted all my time with the light back there. Right, we have had some direct sunlight, but not in the tree I was interested in, but on this side one. And that is allowing me to drop the exposure a little bit and create a feeling of contrast between the tree and the now significantly darker background, and that's helping make the foreground tree stand out a little bit, and it's obviously helping with the composition. That's lovely. What you see at the back of the camera. So yeah, as you can see, I've focused on the trunk itself and the background is that little bit darker, and that's allowing me to get a bit of separation between the foreground tree, which is the subject, and the background. Yeah, just as I was about to leave, we had another burst of sunlight come through, so I quickly ran down. A slightly different composition, more kind of like this. Again, aiming the camera down, trying to avoid that brighter sky, but because we've got a bit of direct sunlight on the tree, that's allowing me to underexpose slightly and render the background a lot darker as compared to the foreground. I've just noticed there's what looks like a bit of rubbish at the base of the tree, so that's probably going to have to be cloned out, but yeah, otherwise it looks quite nice. So that's us for another video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know below which photograph was your favourite, and feel free to hit subscribe, all that sort of stuff. There's a link in the description below if you want to sign up for my monthly newsletter. There'll be one out in a few days. They come out every 28th of the month, so there'll be one in a few days. And yeah, in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.